Today we are tackling cholesterol, a topic that has been misunderstood for decades. Stay with me and I promise to clear up the confusion. By the end of this video, you'll see why cholesterol isn't the villain it's been made out to be. So let's begin by learning some fascinating facts about cholesterol. Cholesterol is present in every single cell of your body. It's that important. Your brain is packed with cholesterol. About 25% of the total cholesterol in your body is found in your brain. It's vital for memory, learning, and nerve function. Your body makes most of the cholesterol it needs. Even if you ate zero cholesterol, your liver and intestines would produce about 1000 to 1200 mg daily. It's that essential. Cholesterol is the building block of your major hormones. Think testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, vitamin D. None of these would exist without cholesterol. And that's why low cholesterol levels can be dangerous. While high cholesterol is often demonized, too low cholesterol is linked to issues like depression, anxiety, and even increased stroke risk in some studies. So if cholesterol is so essential, how did it become the villain in modern health narratives? So let's rewind back to the 1950s when a scientist named Ancel Keys proposed the diet heart hypothesis, the idea that saturated fat and cholesterol in food raises blood cholesterol, which leads to heart disease. Sounds simple, right? But here's the problem. His research was flawed. He selectively used data from just 6 to 7 countries that fit his theory and ignored the rest that didn't. There were a total of 22 countries, by the way. Despite the weak evidence, this idea caught fire. Governments, food industry, and even medical guidelines jumped on the bandwagon. Low-fat, high-carb diet became the norm, and cholesterol-rich foods like eggs, red meat, and butter were suddenly demonized. Fast forward to now, new research tells a different story. For many people, dietary cholesterol has little to no impact on blood cholesterol. Even the dietary guidelines for Americans dropped their cholesterol limit in 2015. And yet the fear still lingers, mostly due to decades of misleading advice and marketing. So let's talk about how cholesterol moves in your body. Cholesterol is a type of fat, so it can't float freely in blood. Instead, it rides around inside lipoproteins. Think of them as tiny shuttle buses. The first type is LDL, low density lipoprotein. So this shuttle drops cholesterol off in your tissues. LDL has been nicknamed bad cholesterol because too much LDL can lead to plague in arteries. But keep in mind, LDL is just a carrier, not inherently bad. Then we have HDL, which is high density lipoprotein. This one picks up excess cholesterol and brings it back to the liver. It's called good cholesterol because higher LDL levels usually means better cholesterol clearance. Now here's something many people don't know. LDL particles come in different sizes. You can have large fluffy LDL or small dense LDL. Research shows that small dense LDL particles are more atherogenic. They can slip into artery walls more easily and stay there, forming plaque. Big fluffy LDL tend to be less problematic. So if someone says my LDL is high, the next question is it mostly big particles or small ones? So let's address the elephant in the room. What actually causes heart disease? What really causes clogged arteries and heart attacks? Atherosclerosis, plaque buildup. You should know that it is not just cholesterol that is the sole culprit here. Plaque buildup is an inflammatory process in the arteries. And cholesterol ends up in the plaque because it's actually part of a bigger problem. And there are a few main factors linked with plaque buildup. First is chronic inflammation. Inflammation is a topic in itself and I'll soon make a detailed video about this. But for now, know this, that chronic inflammation causes tiny injuries in the pipe walls. If we consider arteries as pipes, your body's repair response brings cholesterol and immune cells to patch it up, forming plague. In short, cholesterol is a building material, but inflammation is the spark. Many studies and the American Health Association now says inflammation is a major driver of heart disease. Second is insulin resistance and high blood sugar. When your cell does not respond well to insulin, often from eating sugar and refined carbs, blood sugar stays high. This damages vessel walls and makes LDL more likely to oxidize and stick. People with metabolic syndrome often have high triglycerides, low HDL, and lots of small LDL, which is a dangerous combination. Moving on, a diet high in sugary drinks, white flour, ultra-processed foods, and unhealthy oils fuels obesity and insulin resistance. These foods spike your blood sugar and cholesterol in the wrong way, leading to more inflammation and fat in the body. Then there is stress and sleep. Chronic stress pumps out cortisol, which raises blood pressure and blood sugar. Over time, that stresses your heart and vessels. Lack of sleep is also a hidden culprit because sleep deprivation raises inflammation and can worsen insulin resistance. Smoking directly damages artery walls. Lack of exercise makes the heart weaker and worsens metabolic health. Even things like pollution or chronic inflammation like gum disease can add to vascular inflammation. So basically, in summary, heart disease is not caused by cholesterol alone. It is caused by an unhealthy environment in your body. Cholesterol gets caught up in the process, but it's more of a marker of a trouble than the sole culprit. So guys, focus on the root causes: inflammation, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and your overall lifestyle. In our next video on cholesterol, we'll dive deep into cholesterol ratios and blood markers. I'll explain what LDL to HDL ratio means, what ApoB is, and why health experts look at particle counts. Those details will give you an even clearer picture of your heart disease risk. So what's the take-home message? Cortisol itself is a necessary molecule, not the enemy. Our bodies need it. Worry less about the number on your label of LDL and more about how you're treating your body as a whole. Ask yourself, am I eating real whole foods or a ton of processed foods? Am I sleeping well, moving often, and managing stress? Those are the answers to improving heart health. Look at your blood sugar, inflammation markers, blood pressure, and belly fat. They tell a richer story than just good or bad cholesterol. I'm Akash. Thank you so much for your time.